Now, when you were at basic training, obviously there's a marksmanship part, but you were already competing, you know, like, so were you just like, oh my God, this is so boring? Like, what were your thoughts going through Army basic training, marksmanship part specifically?
So going through basic training was the marksmanship portion of basic training was actually, I enjoyed it a lot. It was a lot of fun because I got to shoot the M4, which I don't usually shoot a lot. I shoot 22s and air rifles, and it's a really precise event. I'm shooting at the same target 60 times over, as opposed to with the marksmanship training during basic training, we're shooting at pop-up targets that change the distance that they're at, and it's a higher caliber gun and just a completely different event. So it was actually a lot of fun. It kind of got me back to something I enjoy with shooting, is just doing something different and having fun with it. And I also got to help out some of the other guys in my platoon, help teach them some of the different basics and fundamentals that go into being a better shooter.
So I'm assuming you got expert at basic?
I did, yes. It took me a little while actually to get 40 out of 40. I kept getting razzed by all the guys because I kept getting 39. I'd miss one here or there. Or I'd forget about one because sometimes they have two that pop up, and so I'd shoot one and like forget that there's another one back there, and it's another 39. So finally I got my 40.
So has being a soldier helped you in any way be a better competitive marksman?
Absolutely. So here at the Army Marksmanship Unit, all the resources that we have to be able to make us better shooters, at a certain point this comes down to our equipment as well as our minds. So the equipment that the Army Marksmanship Unit is able to provide is top-notch. We have the best equipment in the world and the best gunsmiths to provide gunsmithing and make our rifles shoot more accurately than anybody else. And on top of that, the culture that we have here, the working hard, competing relentlessly, all the values that I've held throughout my career are kind of mirrored back with several of the shooters here. So it's really great to be able to train around them and feed off them in different times and gain more knowledge from them as well. We have several Olympians, a couple Olympic medalists here, so we're able to talk a little bit more and learn different strategies towards handling certain situations. So it's all helped quite a bit, making me the shooter that I am right now.
Did you ever think when you were 12, when you first met them, did you ever think that you would be here?
Not at all. No, I was completely in awe of the guys that were here. They were, I remember talking to Jason Parker when he was here, and he was a couple-time Olympian and several-time world record holder. And he was just the guy. Like it was really cool to talk to him, and Sergeant McPhail as well. He was #1 in the world in prone when I was first coming into the unit here, and I was still a little kind of unsure. And so we've had a really good coaching relationship here, and he's helped me out a lot over the last few years. So it's pretty cool that we've gotten on that same page, and I've been able to gain as much information as I have from those guys.
Now the aspect of being disciplined and being a competitive shooter before you joined the Army, do you think that training helped you prepare to be a soldier, or has made you a better soldier, like on the reverse side?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the discipline that I've learned over the years of competing, I think in any sport, being an athlete teaches you a lot about discipline. Obviously, it makes you physically fit because I have to train my physical fitness, and both of those are two very good things for being a soldier. On top of that, my sport is marksmanship, which is another aspect of being a soldier. But I think the biggest thing is the mental toughness, being able to handle setbacks and obstacles, or even successes, handling them humbly. I think there was a lot of that throughout basic training, and the sport of shooting and being an athlete has helped me a lot to handle that during basic and just be a soldier overall.
Would you say in general that the juniors that are shooting, because I spoke to some of the parents over the years and asked them why they have their kids go through this, it's stressful and all that stuff, and a lot of the parents have said because it helps them learn coping skills and things like that. So what would you tell a junior that maybe is just starting, or maybe on the verge of like, this is too hard, I want to do this anymore? Like, what advice would you give a junior in this sport?
I guess I would say the biggest advice I could give a junior is to stick with it. One of the biggest things that I've valued in myself is my perseverance. I went a lot of times. I remember when I was a junior, I spent 5 years without setting a personal record in the air rifle, and it drove me crazy. But here I am now, and I'm a better shooter because of it. And I think it's trained me a lot more than just being a shooter, but also a person in general. Being able to overcome obstacles and setbacks. Even if things aren't quite going your way, you're able to persevere through something to achieve a goal. And I think that's one of the best things. It's helped build confidence and also just overall life skills. I've seen it help me out with relationships, with school, obviously with shooting as well. So I've gained a lot from being able to persevere through setbacks.
What's one surprising thing that you've learned about the Army so far?
One of the surprising things I learned about the Army is all the different jobs that are available to soldiers. I always thought you came in and you were just an infantryman when you joined the Army, but I was really surprised to learn all the different specializations and different jobs that a soldier could hold in the Army.
Okay. If you ran into someone when you were back home visiting and they were like, dude, what's it like being in the Army?
Way different than you would think. I think I have the best job in the Army. I tell people that all the time. They've provided me so much with the sport and allowed me to actually be a contender and help push me towards my goals of being the best in the world. I never expected that to be the case, and a lot of people are surprised to hear that there's such a niche thing in the Army as Olympic style shooting, let alone a whole unit set aside to it. So I think it just kind of opens up people's eyes, being able to tell them what my job is in the Army and show them that there's so many different things that don't necessarily get talked about all the time, but just to explore all the different opportunities that there are in the Army.